the way we wanted to evolve was to make it usable, not to just have words and ideas between two book covers and then put on the shelf. And over the years, from the time we experience reconnecting with the culture with Tūtū in the 60s, the journey and the kuleana that Richard and I accepted from her as her students was to ensure that it was used for the benefit of children and families. La Hui. It was always her dream that it get back to the families, whether provided by others who learned about the culture and helped them directly, or if they could learn it themselves and begin using it themselves in a living way with the kamali'i, with the makua and kūpuna, because our families live with 3 generations, not unusual. And during that time, ho'oponopono was viewed as a word outside. And some of the cases Richard and I worked with demonstrated the knowledge of ho'oponopono could be transferred by learning it in doing it. And so, because this was an effort provided by the Queen Liliʻuokalani Children's Center and later known as Liliʻuokalani Trust, services were directed to orphan, half-orphan Hawaiian children with their families. And so with that in mind, loss, separation, kaumaha was a key part that needed to be included. But we also recognize very clearly the ohana of yesteryear knew more about these Hawaiian concepts and ideas than the modern family of that time. And so there was a need to focus on the effects of cultural trauma in order for our families of today to understand why we may have to take some extra steps in helping them to revive the aloha and the harmony and untangle the pilikia. But we were also reminded that in the intervening years, there were new social workers coming on board to Liliʻuokalani Trust who did not have the privilege of those culture committee meetings where we learned by presenting cases and had the source with us, Mary Kawena Pukuʻi. And so we realized that we had to look at ways to influence those who were uninformed yet empowered to provide services to children, to understand what are some of the guidelines, what are the values that are required, why from different worldviews it was important that those who were going to provide service be empowered to appreciate at a deep level the wisdom of the ancestors. So this was the kind of discussion that took place as the committee members began to evolve. What are we going to write about? And it made sense, because what's good for our families is good for others as well. Yeah.